Kanye West compares co-parenting with Kim Kardashian to prison. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian always seem to have a war of words going. However, they never seem to be with each other and are primarily spewed in public. Kanye has thrown the latest barbs, accusing Kim and the Kardashian mob of interfering with his parenting of their 4 kids. Here is what Kanye had to say about Kim and how co-parenting makes him feel like he is in prison. Kanye West lashes out at Kim Kardashian again. Kanye West made a series of posts on X about his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian. As usual, they didn't last long, and many of the posts were removed, either by Kanye or X. It is unclear which. However, many people saw his posts, and he seems unhappy about his co-parenting with Kim. Yes, I have beef with people that froze my account, took my kids away, and tried to put me in jail and it's estikek. Via page 6. He then went off on Kim, the Kardashian mob, and even Hulu, which airs the Kardashians. He accused all of these of restricting his parenting of their 4 kids. Kanye and Kim have 4 kids: North 11, Saint 9, Chicago 7, and Psalm 5. Kanye then said he doesn't just want to see his kids, he wants to raise them. He said he wants to have a say in what they wear, where they go to school, and who their friends are. Kanye also wants a say in whether his daughters wear lipstick and perfume. He said he wants to have complete control over all their actions. All these rights have been taken from me by the Kardashian mob, Hulu, and Disney, he wrote. He then said it was the bigger agenda to use the selectively bred black children to be platforms to influence black people. Kanye says seeing his kids is like having visitation in jail. Kanye West then veered into anti-Semitism again, after going off on Kim Kardashian and television studios restricting his rights. He then went off on another anti-Semitism rage. He wrote, "I don't care if I live or die, or if I'm in jail or free, and I especially don't care about whatever they celebrities got to say that are slaves to the Jews." It is likely that this is the part that got the post removed from X. While Kanye has a close friendship with President Donald Trump, he has recently butted heads with Elon Musk. The owner of X previously banned Kanye after a lengthy anti-Semitism rant, but later let him back on with a cleared account. This rant also came a short time after Kanye announced that North would be in a song with Sean Diddy Combs. Kanye has been making a huge defense of Diddy. He claims Diddy is innocent of all charges. Kanye also said the government is out to make an example of an innocent black man. Now, he is involving his daughter. Combs has been accused of sex trafficking and racketeering and has been accused of sexual assault against minors. Kanye West's recent comments about his co-parenting situation with Kim Kardashian have sparked quite a conversation. In an unexpected twist, Kanye compared the complexities of raising his children with Kim to being trapped in prison. It's a provocative and controversial statement, one that seems to blend his signature unfiltered honesty with a hint of hyperbole. But what could he have meant by this? Let's break it down, imagining the conversation that could unfold between Kanye and a close confidant. In his mind, co-parenting is a deeply frustrating experience that feels as though he is locked in a battle of wills with little control over his own life or decisions. His words paint a vivid picture of a man who, despite his vast wealth and influence, feels constrained by the legal and emotional ties that bind him to his former wife. Here's how a deeper reflection of Kanye's feelings could be captured in a creative writing piece. Kanye sat back in his chair, looking out at the sprawling hills from his studio's glass windows. The weight of the words he had just spoken still lingered in the air. Co-parenting with Kim is like prison, he had said. It wasn't a statement meant to provoke headlines, though it certainly did. It was a reflection of something much deeper, a raw, vulnerable side of him that few had ever seen. His mind wandered back to the early days of their relationship, when things seemed simpler. They had been in sync, a power couple with the world at their feet. But now it was different. The tension between them, ever present but unspoken, had been slowly building, like the pressure before a storm. Every conversation, every decision, seemed to be a negotiation. There was no room for spontaneity, no freedom to simply exist as he had before their separation. "Why does it feel like I'm still tied to her?" Kanye muttered to himself, running a hand through his hair. His thoughts were erratic, unpredictable, much like his public persona. Is this what it's like for everyone who has to share their children with someone they don't share a life with anymore? Co-parenting wasn't supposed to be this complicated. It wasn't supposed to feel like shackles. But for Kanye, it did. The media had a field day with his outbursts, his rants on social media, and his public spats with Kim. They didn't see the pain behind the headlines, the pain of being a father who had to fight for every moment with his children, the anguish of dealing with a system that dictated how, when, and where he could see them. "I can't even make a decision about my kids without her approval," he said, his voice growing more intense. "It's like I'm locked in a cell with no way out. No matter how much I try to break free, I'm always bound by her, by this legal system, by the expectations of the world. It's not even about love anymore. It's about control." His confidant, a close friend who had seen Kanye's highs and lows, nodded in understanding. "I get it," he said softly. "But you also have to admit that the situation is complicated." "Complicated," Kanye echoed, a half-laugh escaping his lips. "That's putting it lightly. I want what's best for my kids. I want to be there for them in ways that matter. But the moment I try to take control of the situation, I'm met with resistance. Every step I take forward feels like I'm 2 steps back." It wasn't just about the legalities, the schedules, or the public battles. It was about a man who once held all the power in his world, but now found himself at the mercy of circumstances he couldn't control. The power dynamic between him and Kim had shifted dramatically, and it left him feeling powerless in ways he never thought possible. "Kim's a great mom," Kanye continued, his tone softening as he acknowledged the mother of his children. "She does what she has to do for the kids, but we're not the same anymore. I'm not the man she married. She's not the woman I once loved. And this co-parenting thing, it's not just about sharing kids. It's about sharing a part of myself I didn't expect to lose." There was a silence between them as Kanye leaned back, lost in his own thoughts. The weight of his emotions hung in the air like an unspoken truth. His desire to break free from the chains of co-parenting, to escape the prison he felt trapped in, was palpable. But the truth was more complicated than just a desire for freedom. Kanye had always been a man of extremes, one who had lived a life of both triumph and tragedy. He knew that being a father meant making sacrifices, even if those sacrifices came at the cost of his own freedom. He looked at his friend, his eyes weary yet resolute. "I'm not complaining," Kanye said. "I'm just explaining. This is what it's like for me. I didn't choose this. I didn't choose to feel like I'm stuck in a system that doesn't understand me, that doesn't let me be who I need to be for my kids. But I can't change that, can I?" His friend smiled, but it was a smile tinged with sadness. "You can't change everything, Kanye, but you can change how you respond to it. You can take control of the parts that matter." Kanye's gaze shifted to the photo of his children on the wall, their smiles forever captured in time. His heart softened. He knew his children were the only thing that truly mattered now. No matter how frustrating the co-parenting process was, no matter how much it felt like prison, he would endure it because they were his children. And for them, he would do whatever it took. "It's not prison," Kanye muttered, as if he were trying to convince himself. "It's just a different kind of freedom. A kind of freedom that's messy and painful, but still worth fighting for." In the end, Kanye's comparison of co-parenting to prison wasn't about him being bitter or resentful. It was about a man confronting the stark reality of life post-divorce, where control is no longer in his hands and the rules of engagement are constantly shifting. But for all the struggles he faces, one thing remains clear. His love for his children is unwavering. And no matter how many prisons he finds himself in, he will always fight for them.